Are you tired of exporting your accounting data to insert them in some Excel sheet and have your own financial statement? Do you want to stop your integration with the external tool and have your own financial reports directly generated inside your Odoo database? If it's the case, then you are at the right place.
That's totally right, Raphael. Odoo is such a powerful tool, as you probably all know. But we've noticed that many businesses still struggle generating their financial insight within Odoo. Thanks to different use cases that we have had so far with different companies, we have identified the need for more advanced reporting tools directly into Odoo. And that is why today we are so happy to present you our brand new service, the Financial Analysis Service. Actually, this service is there to meet this need and to fill in this gap in the market. And the idea is to bring back basically all your reports into Odoo. Being able actually not to have integration with other tools to do your financial reporting outside of Odoo. Actually, this is super for the CFO because it allows to have dynamic reporting already from one place. And actually, it permits for the financial department to take decision and cutting-edge decision, strategic decision directly, that are straight to the point, dynamic.
Indeed, Dorsan. And today we are so happy to present you this new service through a typical use case that can highlight those challenges and show how can we easily streamline the reporting process in your database to provide you the insight you need directly there.
Hello, my name is Dorsan Tint. I'm financial flow expert and business analyst at Odoo. And for the purpose of today's use case, I will play the customer.
I'm Raphael Moreau. I'm business analyst and financial expert here at Odoo, and today I'll be the consultant. But before starting this presentation, I invite you to scan this QR code that you can see on the screen, so you will be able to open the pad, ask your question, and we review all these questions at the end of this presentation.
Okay, let's go. Let's start with the use case of the day, which is a use case of Bike Master Supply.
Well, thank you very much, Dorsan, for joining me today. As the CFO of Bike Master Supply, could you give me a brief overview of your company and how you've been using Odoo so far?
Yeah, exactly. So Bike Master Supply is a wholesale distributor of bicycle and bicycle parts, mainly operating in the retail industry. So we have been using Odoo for the last 3 years now, and we are very happy with it. Unfortunately, we have come across some frustration because our financial and accounting team feels like there is something more that we can add basically to our processes to make the full usage of the software.
I see. And basically, what kind of flow would you like to optimize?
Actually, we have two main frustrations for the moment. The first thing is that we feel like our accounting team has problem for the encoding of the bills. So far, they are doing too many manual jobs. The second thing also is that for the moment we are extracting too many information outside of Odoo in order to make our reporting. So we need to wait until the closing in order to being able to add, to create, those reports and to take an important decision out of this.
That sounds frustrating. And since Odoo is there to make you save your time, I believe that there is something we can do to improve that. What kind of specific reports would you like to be able to generate?
So first of all, the first thing that we want to include in Odoo will be the cash flow. We need a cash flow provisional and a cash flow to compute our current cash position. The second thing that we want to add would be some matrices to monitor our solvency, our liquidity, and also industry-specific matrices. And the last thing that we would like to add as well would be being able to see from our P&L from where our revenue comes from, meaning which industry, but also from which country.
Okay, so we can also focus on configuring Odoo's reporting tool to directly provide you these insights you need in your database without relying on external tools such as Excel.
Yeah, that would definitely already streamline our processes.
Okay, then let's work on customizing your Odoo database to meet these needs. I have a few ideas in mind, and I'm sure that you will love it.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear, Raphael. Let's dig into it.
Okay, so let's dive into your Odoo database. And here, basically, we will open the accounting app, and we will focus first on the current inefficiencies that we've observed. So one major area of improvement would be the flow of encoding data. So here you can see that we review your accounting journal structure. So we actually decided to integrate all your international vendor bills in one and only one journal to ease the encoding process of your accountants. So since we've come to the conclusion that you're regularly working with the same international vendor, well, we could ask your vendors to directly send their invoice to the concerned journal thanks to the email alias that we've set on it, rather than having your accountants distribute all the invoice on the different journals. So here, let's open the journal, and we can see that we already received one vendor bill from Asia Interior, one of your foreign supplier, and thanks to our OCR technology, you can see that all the fields are already populated. So we just need to do a visual check, and then we can confirm the bill.
That's amazing. I feel like our accounting team will gain a lot of time thanks to those automation. Furthermore, is there a way to send your invoices directly to the right journal?
Yeah, obviously. I propose in the process to add 2 new quotation templates so that actually everything is directly integrated since the very beginning of the sales process. So let me open the Sale app quotation template, and as you can see here, we've got one quotation template that would be linked to your Belgian sales journal, while the other one would be linked to your international sales journal.
Yeah, that would be very, very useful actually, because my salesperson generally need a lot of autonomy when they are creating their invoices. But as you know, salesperson generally have very few accounting background.
Yeah, and also, Dorson, we've also observed some inconsistencies in your account's configuration regarding their code, but also with their default mapping with position, fiscal position, and products.
But Raphael, what does that mean for my financial management?
Well, in fact, this will not allow you to make a proper use of your accounting reports. So let's open the balance sheet to see how it works. So as you can see here, each sections are computed based on the account code's prefixes. So basically, if they are not well set up, then each section will display the wrong numbers. So as another area of improvement, I propose to bring more automation thanks to reconciliation models, but also with SEPA payments. So to show you a little example of a reconciliation model, let's open your bank. You can see here that we've received one Visa deposit, and actually the payments labels contain the correct amount to distribute on the Visa transitory account. Well, the reconciliation model helps us to read the amount directly in the label of the payment, to set it on the correct amount, and then compute the difference to set it in some Visa commission fees.
I must be honest, Raphael. I think that I a little bit underestimated the importance of having all your configurations done perfectly before doing the reporting. Moreover, I'm really surprised all the automation that Odoo can handle, especially with the reconciliation model, where actually thanks to the reconciliation model, you can automatically generate the counterpart. That's amazing. And regarding the SEPA payment, I will get in touch with my bank before coming back to you and finishing this configuration. Have you been able to work on further things regarding the spreadsheets and stuff that we discussed?
Yeah, totally, Dorson. So let's first try the demonstration of the forecasted cash flow statement. So for this purpose, I'll open the dashboard app. So as you know, the dashboard app proposes many dashboards for many apps that you have downloaded on your Odoo database. And since they are based up on Odoo spreadsheet, well, we can actually customize those dashboards, but we can also create new dashboards. And basically, that's what we did with the forecasted cash flow statement. So let's open it, and here it is. Now you have your cash flow that is structured per weeks, and you've got all the relevant data that you need there. So you got your cash balance, your outstanding balance, receivable, payables, and then the total. And since it's based on an Odoo spreadsheet, well, it's directly integrated with your accounting. So let's see what happens when I validate some customer invoice that I issued today. So here I just duplicate my screen and go back in the accounting app in my customer invoice for Dupont Bike Shop. So basically, you see here that we issued there an invoice today for a VAT excluded amount of 30,000 euros, and we asked them to pay 30% now and the balance in 60 days. So it means that actually I will have more or less 10,000 euros that will be added to my current week of receivable. So let's confirm the invoice. Let's go back onto the dashboard, and as we will reload the page here, well, you see now that my receivables are now up to 498,000 euros.
Raphael, that is exactly what I was looking for. Furthermore, is there a way to include the ins and the outs as soon as there is no invoice and bills yet?
Yeah, definitely. We anticipated everything, Dorsan. So let's go back home. And for this purpose, I will just open the spreadsheet that is used to build this dashboard. So let's open here this tab. You see that it is the forecasted line. So here we just need to add the type of the payment, payable, receivable, the future forecasted date, and the forecasted amount. So for instance, for these 400,000 euros as of the next week, well, as soon as I've encoded that here, we can see here on the cash flow that actually it is directly distributed on the correct line, so for the next week, in the forecasted amount of my payables.
Yeah, that's definitely super useful. And I think that in a second version, we could potentially also add our sales order and our purchase order that are not yet invoiced. But yeah, we'll come back to that later on. Is there also a possibility to see it, I don't know, per month or per quarter?
Yeah, definitely. So for that, let me go back on the dashboard directly, reopen the forecasted cash flow statement. So here you've got the choice to open the report based on your weeks. We've already seen that. Per month as well, as you can see here now on the screen, or per quarter here. Let's open it here, and there you have it.
Wow, that's crazy. If I'm remembering well from our last discussion, we put a lot of emphasis on the working capital requirement. Actually, the working capital requirement is very important for us because we believe that with this amount, we know how much cash we need to finance our daily operations. Just to recall, the working capital requirement is computed based on the current assets minus the liquidities minus the current liabilities. Have you been able to do that in Odoo?
Yeah, definitely. So let me open the accounting dashboard. So as you know, this dashboard is standard, but I've customized it a little bit to make it fit your needs. And here we can see your working capital requirement display as a graph. So for companies such as yours that have pretty much 20 million sales for this year, well, I believe that it should range between 2 to 3 millions. And we can see here that in 2020 it was already about 22 million. In 2023, about 4.5 million, and in 2024, 6 million. This is way too much, Dorsan.
Yeah, I believe this is way too much like you. Is there a way to improve this KPI?
Well, yeah, of course. See, if you want to improve your working capital requirement, you should consider improve your inventory management. So you should reduce excess stocks, but also increase the inventory turnover rate. As we can see here on this level of inventory, it is currently up to 4.5 million, which is a huge proportion of your working capital requirement.
Yeah, that's definitely way too much. And as I see here, for the average days of inventory in stock, we are at the moment at 80 days. So definitely it's too much for our company. That will definitely incur some extra cost, and I don't think that for the financial health, this is something that needs to continue.
Yeah, and if you need help on this matter, you can still request the help of our strategic supply chain experts that are there to help you. And now, on top of that, since we are on the position section of this dashboard, you can see here that the average debtor days is about 47 days, which means that actually, on average, a customer takes 47 days to pay their invoice, which is also very huge. So I believe that here we should try to bring it up to 30, 35 days, and for that you should try to implement more robust credit control, but also do more invoice payment follow-up. So as an illustration for that, we can go back in the accounting and open the age receivable report. And we can see here that for Smith Cycle components, well, we actually have 50,000 euros that are still overdue for more than 31 days, Dorsan. And when we open the partner card, you can see here in the accounting level that they are on the invoice follow-ups level of 30 days, and that there are no customer statements that are sent to them through the chatter, which is a pity.
Yeah, unfortunately, that shouldn't appear. And next to that, I also see that the average creditors days is quite low. So that means that we are paying far too quickly our vendors. That should be improved, definitely. Yeah, I'm not that surprised about the figures, to be honest, Raphael. Nevertheless, we need to act and do something in order to change that. I will contact my operational manager in order to find and brainstorm a specific solution to adapt those figures. Moreover, I think that I will also push my supply chain manager to get in touch with one of your colleagues from the strategic supply chain service team.
That's definitely a good idea, Dorsan. But fortunately, all the numbers are not that bad, because if we get a look to your liquidity performance now, well, for instance, your cash asset ratio is up to 29%, which is quite good, I believe.
Yeah, so that means that at the moment we are able to reimburse 30% more or less of our current liabilities with the current balance in cash. And yeah, I see also,
I think that you wanted to see the quick ratio, so here we can see that it's slightly higher than 2. So basically it means that if you take all you've got in your banks plus all you've got with your receivables, well, you could reimburse twice your short-term obligation, which is really reassuring, right?
yeah, and I see on the right that you have also a dedicated section for the solvency.
Yeah, definitely. So there we can overview the debt to equity ratio. Basically it means that you have 3 times more debt than equity, which is quite understandable for a fast-growing structure such as yours.
Yeah, that is true. Something that you need to know is that we are a family business since day one.
Okay.
So that means that all the shares are still in the hands of the family. I think that in order to finance furthermore our growth, we need to invest more money into the company. We are a little bit undercapitalized for the moment. In the coming week, I will try to reach some investor to inject some fresh cash in the company.
Okay, now I understand it better. It makes more sense actually. One last metrics I wanted to see with you is the permanence metrics. So basically, it takes your equity plus your long-term liabilities and we divide them by the total of the balance sheet. And here, it's only about 28%, which is, I think, not that good. You should keep an eye on that because it basically means that your daily operations are mainly financed through short-term obligation. And to help you keep an eye on that, I did a graph there so you can overview in blue your debt to equity ratio and in red your permanence ratio.
Okay, thank you so much. This is totally what I expected from you. Thank you, Raphael. But if I'm remembering well, we also discussed during the introduction the need to have a P&L from which it was possible to see our revenues by country, but also our revenues by industry. Have you been able to do that?
Yeah, totally. So let's jump back in the accounting and let's see your P&L. So here you've got your standard P&L, right? But then we can split it per industries if I add these horizontal groups. So now you see here everything is structured per industries. So you've got maintenance, retail, wholesale, and then the total of your P&L. And if we open your turnover, especially in the sales in the EU account, we can see that now it is structured also per countries. So actually, you are able now to cross-analyzing data.
Yeah, but Raphael, I think that I told you that I didn't want to have any custom code in my database. I want to remain standard as much as possible.
I beg your pardon, Dawson. I forgot to mention it, but actually, everything we've done so far is 100% standard. So if you activate the developer mode, you are now able to modify your accounting reports and review the way they are built to make them fit your needs.
Okay, thank you very much, Raphael. To be honest, regarding everything that you did, that goes way beyond my expectation. I wasn't aware that Odoo was able to do that much. Yeah, I already see a couple of other reports that I would like in further meetings to integrate in Odoo.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Dorsan. So, as a conclusion of this presentation, we would like to emphasize on the fact that now, with Odoo 18, it's possible to do finance controlling, as well as generating multiple financial reports in your Odoo database.
Exactly, and thanks to our service, we want to help you reach your strategic objective, thanks to the 3 main pillars. So the first one will be the optimization. From here, the idea is that we are going to do a full review of all your processes to be sure that everything has been configured in line with the best practice of Odoo. That is something that we saw during the presentation where Raphael told me that some of the flows weren't well used.
Yeah, and with the second level of our service, we can focus on creating multiple custom reports So actually, this is basically what we did with the forecasted cash flow statement, but also with the strategic KPIs we added on the accounting dashboard.
And lastly, we have the analyzing part. In this part, actually, from the reporting, we'll be able to guide you toward better finance management, meaning that we will see, in comparison with other industry, where you stand and what you can do in order to improve those matrices.
So you can decide to work with us on 1, 2, or all 3 levels that we propose in our service, depending on your requirements.
Our team comprises 10 experts with very different background, from former financial controllers to accountants to former auditors as well.
So together, we can bring a wealth of expertise to help you achieve your financial goals directly in Odoo.
And if you have further questions or you are interested in our service, feel free to scan this QR code, redirecting to the official Odoo web page. Sorry. Yeah, we were very happy to present you the service. We have also specific cards that we can share to you afterwards. Thank you very much for your attention, and we are looking forward to hearing from you.
Now it's time to answer the question. Thank you very much.
Okay, so for our first question, first of all, I would like to say that may some of you have like really specific questions. Sorry. If you have really specific questions or maybe harder questions to answer in our limited time, please feel free to reach out to the right booth for that. So, my first question here is, can cash flow forecast include the purchase and sales order?
Yeah, so definitely, I believe that in the second version of this statement, we could also bring data that are generated in the sales app or in the purchase app to this forecasted cash flow statement.
Another question would be, could we see how this how can we see how this is constructed? Because here, sorry, how can our attendees see how you constructed these dashboards?
Well, I believe that for the moment, do you want to show it, Dorson?
With pivots, you can show just the pivots.
Yeah, okay. Well, you want to show it?
Yeah. Just to show you actually how everything behaves within Odoo. C'est où ton truc? Ici. The idea is that for the dashboards, everything comes from the database. So you have a direct link between the database and the spreadsheet. So that does mean actually that if you look at the week, for example, if I click on it, from the data, we see that we have extracted basically many pivots in order to construct it. So all of those pivots actually comes from the database. So we went into the pivot view of many different models. So for example, if I am clicking on this one, I see that here I took the journal items, and thanks to specific domain that we put it, I was able to highlight only the things that interested me to put it in the right cases. Another thing that is important, so this one was for the cash. We made this one dynamic, and I think that is one of the most value-added thing. If you look at it here, so it depends on, this is the area for the date actually, and we see that it's G8, and G8 is actually a period here. So actually this one will be dynamic as soon as the date moves in the future. We will also always have something that is accurate and up to date. So yeah, but if you have any more questions on how to create those kind of reports, you can feel free to come to the booth, and I will be happy to further investigate your questions.
Okay, thanks. Another question would be, does this dashboard and cash flow exist out of the box in V18, or is it something yet you need to make?
Yeah, definitely. So actually, those dashboards, they are computed on an Odoo spreadsheet, and it is possible to actually export the JSON file. So it's the file actually that is used to build the spreadsheet. So we can extract the JSON file and import it as a template on another database. And after a few little configuration, it will be up and running on other database, right?
Yeah, and furthermore, we are pushing now to have this one in standard. So potentially in the future they will come and it will be standard. But for the moment, if you need it, yeah, either you create it or we could share it to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Do Odoo Dashboards require accounting knowledge, or is it like something that could be easily made up? And how complete is the accounting success pack? If I wanted to make it through you, how would it happen?
So, so the first part of the question, sorry. Oh, if we need accounting knowledge for the dashboard. Well, actually, it's more required to have Excel knowledge to build the dashboard, because they are based on Odoo spreadsheets. So Odoo spreadsheet does follow the same logic as an Excel sheet. So you don't specifically need some accounting knowledge to build your dashboard. Well, of course, it depends afterward what do you want to do with the dashboard. If you want to retrieve accounting data, sales data, purchase data.
Yeah, I think that it's nice to being able also to discuss with one of the financial experts in order to know what to extract, because I don't think that it requires accounting knowledge, but potentially it requires a mix of technical knowledge and a little bit of accounting knowledge. And regarding the success pack, the minimum hours that we could sell to you is 25 hours. But for those kind of mission in the 25 hours, we are not going only to do the cash flow forecast. We'll be able to do plenty other ones. But the idea is that we first have a meeting together to see basically what are your needs, and based on your needs, we'll be able to find the right amount of hours required to fulfill those needs.
Okay, so it basically can go as deep as we would like it to be.
Yeah.
And how would dashboards work if I were to implement budgets? Can I see something like how my current finances are doing regarding to my budget, etc.?
Yes, so actually there has been a talk presented by our colleague Colleen that showed actually how we can go further with the budget management in spreadsheets. And then afterward, so you can extract all your budget data into spreadsheets, and then in this Odoo spreadsheet you can rework the data to make it appear as the way you want, and then you can directly integrate the spreadsheet in the dashboard and have your integration directly there with your budgets.
Okay, and finally, what's the price of this service?
So the price of the service, basically, Dorsan tell it. So actually, if you need some success pack hours to request the service. So if you have already a success pack, we can do an analysis for you, for your needs, and estimate everything and give you a number of hours of that will be needed to do what you want to achieve. If you don't have any success pack, well, you will have to go through a pre-sales process, so we can also estimate the number of hours needed, and there you will need to purchase at least 25 hours back.
Okay, yeah, great. So basically, it's comprised in Odoo Standard plus your service guys.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, thanks. That's all the questions I have. Of course, there are some questions that I didn't ask. Maybe they're a bit too precise for the limited time span we have. But of course, feel free to ask our colleagues how they do it. And if you have any further questions, there are also booths for this at the end of this hall. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.